Okay, so that was a successful completion of Field Commander Alexander the Granicus campaign or scenario, if you will. It might have seemed pretty easy since I did this in 2 turns. I didn't suffer any penalty at all to the victory point that you get from the turn track. But on the other hand, I have almost no cities. I just have one city here giving me additional 5 victory points. And I mean, this scenario or this game, you can say, is pretty. I mean, it's kind of based on luck a bit. Mostly push your luck type of game. And if you do what I did, I certainly did push my luck. I tried to move as fast as I could, sweeping over the area, conquering the different nations or the different city-states here. And because of that, I didn't incur any penalty to the victory points. But I also, like I said, I didn't get to build any cities. I didn't have time to do that. So to do really well in this scenario, you kind of have to know when to stop, when to build cities, when to rebuild armies. And it only seemed easy because the enemy only got to bolster their forces twice, since I only took 2 turns. This is pretty different from if you stop and build cities and you take it a bit slowly, because the enemy will start to bolster and gain more and more units. And there's actually a danger for the units to deplete here. And if you cannot draw any enemy units and they ask you to draw an enemy unit, you lose. So I mean, it's a balance thing. And sure, if you just see it as your goal is to conquer these territories, then sure, you can do it pretty fast like I did, and this will probably not be all that difficult. But if you want to gain the maximum amount of victory points and you want to do really well in this scenario, you kind of have to stop at some point and start building and start doing different things. Since I had this enemy battle plan advisor, I actually decided from the beginning that this would be a militaristic type of campaign. I will rely on my army to be able to sweep through the different areas and take control and finish this game as soon as possible. But I think I would have been taking I would have taken a different advisor, and I would have had a different strategy if I wanted to get as many victory points as I wanted to. For instance, the Antipater, or whatever his name is, that advisor is pretty useful because he allows you to build a temple, a city, and recruit new troops for your army in the same turn. And this is probably the second advisor you would want to recruit if you are gunning for extra victory points, because he would allow you to not only rebuild and make your army better, but also giving you chance to gain extra victory points from cities. There's a lot of strategy in this game, I feel. It seems like it is a simple game, but if you really want to do well and you really want to maximize your turns, you have to really think this through. And there's also some tactical decisions based on what the enemies draw from their battle plans and such. I have done this with several different advisors, and I think the easiest one is Parmenion. If you choose Parmenion, this is a pretty easy campaign, and I did this because holding a camera and trying to explain things and trying to explain why you do some things, you forget a lot of simple and small things. Like, for instance, I forgot to add glory, which is a simple small thing that you should always be remembering while playing this game. I really like this game. I think it's a great solitary game. It's a great experience. I like the theme. I've always been fascinated by Alexander the Great and his accomplishments and the things he did, being so young and all. And I think this really conveys his push forward, his push to conquer the world and yeah, well, basically conquer the world. So I think this game is, I mean, it's not for everyone. I understand that. It's not super deep, but it's a bit thinky and it has a lot of counters. So if you don't like to mess around with all this stuff, it's probably not a game for you, even though it's not that bad. But if you really, really are into this theme or like this theme at all, I would strongly suggest you buy this game. I have not played any of the other Field Commander games, so I cannot comment on those, but for the Field Commander Alexander, I would give it 2 thumbs up, and I think this is well worth buying the game. And like I said, there are several different tactics and strategies that you can employ during gameplay. You don't have to do it the way I did it. It's not a race, really. It's not all about getting this victory condition done as fast as possible. It's actually doing well. It's just like in real life. You can push your army to conquer, but if you have not secured the areas behind you and you have not a strong grip around the areas you have conquered, you will actually be hurt by this. And for instance here, the decision to raise or govern an area is a pretty interesting one, I think. You could go both ways. I chose to raise everything, but you could go for governing everything, which would actually give you a chance to intimidate the different city-states that you have to, or different strongholds that you have to conquer. And that would mean that you don't have to fight these at all. You could actually intimidate them. So for instance, you could let Halicarnassus build a lot of troops in their area, and they could get more and more reinforcements. But once you get there, you could intimidate them into giving it all up, so you don't have to fight them. So that's another strategy you could employ, and I like that. I like that this game has ton of replayability. I like that you can choose different paths each time you play this, and you can tinker around with different advisors and stuff like that. So I will highly recommend this. If you like solitaire games at all, this is a amazing game to play, and it's fairly cheap as well. It's a bit cheaper than your normal ordinary game, and it will give you a ton of entertainment, I think. So yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts. Not really a review, just some ramblings about Field Commander Alexander. A game well worth purchasing, and this is my second playthrough, and I'm hoping that I will be able to do a couple of more playthroughs before the end of this month. I don't really know what games I will be looking at, but I'm thinking maybe Elder Signs or I don't know, Space Hulk, the card game perhaps. Something easy, easy to set up, and something that I can get used to holding the camera and recording all of these playthroughs with. So yeah, thank you for watching. Feel free to comment if you like, and I will be seeing you in my next playthrough.